Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone? Just checking if I'm live everywhere that I'm supposed to be live and seeing if that's working out. Before we start. But yeah, if it's your first time here, what we normally do is just hang out for a little bit, chat while I make something for about an hour, try out a new recipe. And today I'm doing a General Tso's fried chicken sandwich. So I'm excited about that. I've been looking up some interesting recipes to try a little bit from each different one and make something really cool. So just double checking. Like I can't. It says I'm live on Facebook, but I can't really tell if I am. So if you're on there watching, comment if you can. Maybe I'll refresh. Oh yeah, nice. We are live. Cool. Great. So I'm gonna get going with this now that I know the technology is working. Nice. Hey everyone, good to see you. Cool. So like I said, we're doing a General Tso fried chicken. And the first thing I'm gonna do is marinate the chicken. So we're gonna do some chicken thighs for this because I think they're really good for fried chicken, especially for a chicken sandwich. They have a lot of fat, juicy, and they're really more chickeny in my opinion than a chicken breast. So like usual, I do things that are more of like a combination. So we're doing not just General Tso flavors, but fried chicken sandwich flavors. So the first thing I'm adding to the marinade is some pickle juice. And then I have soy sauce. I'm gonna add a little baking soda. Some cornstarch. Using a utensil for this so it doesn't go flying everywhere. And then I'm gonna add an egg white to it. Great. I have the chicken here, and with boneless, skinless chicken thighs, usually you can just like take them out of the container, they're ready to go. Whereas if you were doing breasts, you would have to like cut them in half, get them to be the right size and everything. And the only thing I do is I usually just check these over with my hands because sometimes there'll be like a little bone still attached, or maybe more skin, I guess, or more fat than you really want. And this is just going to soak in here for, I don't know, 20 minutes while we do a few other things. And we will add the final coating and fry them up. I just wanted to do that first so that they can really get the sauce on them while we work on the rest. I'm just gonna spray this real quick since we had some raw chicken. So you know how when you do get General's chicken from like a takeout place, there's usually broccoli on it, and it's just kind of there. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes eat around it depending on how I'm feeling that day. But I wanted to incorporate the broccoli into this sandwich because, like, a lot of times a chicken sandwich like this will have a slaw on top. So I thought it might be fun to do a broccoli slaw, kind of pickle it a little bit, add some actual pickles, and that would be an interesting way to yeah, it goes right in the trash. So I mean, seriously, like, it's not usually not really seasoned. It's kind of crunchy still, but the difference is we'll want this to be crunchy because it's a slaw in our sandwich, and it's going to be nicely seasoned, so it's going to fit right in. Let's see. So I am going to use a lot of the stock for the slaw, but I'm just peeling off some of the sort of dried out parts here. And my peeler is always dirty because my dog likes freshly peeled sweet potato. And, you know, we kind of spoil her with it. But right here I have a julienne peeler. That one's not dirty. And so I'm just gonna take these and do a bunch of them and just add them to a little bowl. And we are gonna use some of the rest of the broccoli as well. And also you can buy this done already. But as you know, I like to kind of fully do these recipes from front to back when I'm on these streams. It gives us more time to hang out. So this stem is definitely kind of a little tough, but that's fine because we're gonna put some nice vinegar on here and some mayo, and it's gonna add a great texture to our sandwich. There we go. Oh, right as I said, there we go. I need a bowl at this point. So I did most of the stem on this one already. And then I'm just gonna take some of these florets. And chop them up really small as well. So this way they can continue to sort of act as the rest of the slaw is all combined. We don't want anything too big here, like some big chunk of broccoli that you normally get, and move aside. Cool. So that's all I'm going to do for now. And the other thing that I'm going to add to this is some thinly sliced pickles that they become part of the slaw. because I always want pickles on my fried chicken sandwich. So this way we're really hitting the notes that you love in a fried chicken sandwich, as well as the notes that you love in a General Tso's chicken. Some thin slices, and then I'm going to cut them in half this way so that they're not too like stringy in the slaw. Great. I'm just going to put a very little bit of mayo here. I'm using just dill, regular dill pickles, but you can use the kind you like. Some nice sounds going on here. But for me, I probably wouldn't use bread and butter, but you know, some people like those. Now in the slaw, I'm also just going to add a tiny bit of soy sauce. And some rice vinegar. Guess I should move this over. So, I mean, this slaw might seem pretty random, but the flavors are really going to work with the sandwich. And I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. Great, so 2 things down here. Yeah, just eyeball, but I will publish the full recipe. Usually I do it the week after the stream, but obviously next week is different, so it probably wouldn't come out for 2 weeks. So the next thing we're going to make is the sauce for the chicken. And if you were making this as a dinner, it might be a little different. Like there's usually Shaoxing wine as well as some chicken stock that you would thicken with cornstarch. Because this is a sandwich, I don't want to cook the sauce, and I'm going to use honey to get most of the sort of viscousness in the sauce that we want. I'm not going to thin it out with the cooking wine or the chicken stock. It's going to be like all punches of flavor with the honey adding the stickiness. Because again, honey and spicy honey are very common on a fried chicken sandwich. So that's kind of where I put together this idea. And because we're doing this inspired, I guess, General Tso, but also orange chicken, so I decided to put an actual orange in. Just a little bit. And just so you guys know, normally I can see the comments a little better, but because this is the first time I've added Facebook to the stream, and I can only see them very small for like a few seconds. So if I miss your comment, I'm sorry, and I'll try to get back to you later about it. But I have been catching most of them. So I have the orange here, orange juice. And then I'm gonna add a bunch of honey. And because I have 2 bears here, so because I know I needed a lot of honey. Number 1 rule of streaming or going on TV anywhere is to take this off before you start. So obviously messed that one up today. feel like a little more than a quarter cup, I would say. Next thing I'm going to add to that is some soy sauce. Oh look, I figured out how to see all the comments. Great. Oh, that does look like an avocado. Never noticed that before. Thank you, Andrea. No, Chad. Yes, about a third of a bear, I would say. That's good. And now I have sambal. You could use sriracha for this if you want, but I think I like this flavor a lot better. I want this to be pretty spicy, especially since we're being inspired by General Tso. So you can see that this is like a pretty nice sort of level of viscousness. I'm going to add a tiny bit of this rice vinegar. Then I'm going to see where we're at as far as spice level and flavor. Very good. I wanted a little spicier, but it has a nice tang. Needs a little more salt. And that's the soy sauce version of salt, and then this is the regular version of salt. And I'm going to put a touch of sesame oil in there as well. Cool. Finally, I'm going to add in some sesame seeds. And a little bit of chopped scallion. Looking nice, getting there. I do like this, how this is a no-cook sauce. You know, this would be great on some wings, actually, which I've definitely done before. There's a clove of garlic somewhere around here. It's lost forever. Found one. Yes, I did cut my hair myself today in quarantine times. Thank you for pointing that out to everyone. That's just a clove of garlic, and I'm adding some of this squeezed bottle of ginger. Does anyone use this stuff? I like to have fresh ginger on hand, but what happens is then it often goes bad. So I have been keeping the squeeze bottle more often. All right, so this sauce is fantastic at this point. Great, so what else do we have to do? We made the slaw. Now I have to fry the chicken. What's inside the sauce? It has, let's see, soy sauce, sesame oil, sambal, a ton of honey, garlic, ginger, and sesame seeds. And then also the recipe will be up, probably not next week because of Thanksgiving, but the week after on my website, and I'll post the link here as well, obviously. For the bun of this sandwich, I've been having trouble. I got two different kinds. Does anyone have an opinion on one way or the other? I like to have some votes during this. So let me know, but we don't have to get there till later. While I have the oil heating up for the chicken, I'm just gonna put the breading together. And right now this is just flour. And I'm adding cornstarch to it. Almost like equal parts, I guess. We have one vote for sesame bun. And I have a little bit of baking powder I'm going to add. And then salt. So that's what I was thinking with the buns, like the sesame seed and sesame seed. It does make sense. But those buns can be kind of flat and like unappetizing looking. For a sandwich like this, you don't necessarily want the bun to be the star of the show. You know, it's just gonna be there. But the double sesame does make sense for sure. The sesame one's a little smaller, so it depends how big these pieces of chicken end up. Because you want the sandwich to be like a big piece of chicken with like a smaller piece of bun. Yes, there is soy sauce in the in both the marinade and the sauce. This sauce is going on top, but there's also a marinade for the chicken. And we're just waiting for my oil to come to temperature. I had a mental note to turn that on about 15 minutes ago and didn't pay attention to that mental note. But it shouldn't take long. But yeah, just to catch up for people who came in late, I do have a broccoli and pickle slaw that's going on top. I'm marinating the chicken in some egg yolks and or egg whites rather, cornstarch and soy sauce, and then I have the coating here. And this is a fried chicken sandwich inspired by General Tso's chicken. And here's the chicken. It's been marinating for about a half hour, 20 minutes. And it's just chicken thighs. And you want to just double check the chicken thighs so that they don't have like any pieces of bone or too much fat on them. I was gonna fry these on my little burner over here, but I didn't think it would be smart to have the hot oil sort of moving all across the kitchen. Now we're going to take these, and you want to drip off the excess, obviously, but you don't, in this case specifically, you actually don't want to drip too much off, because what's going to happen is when you get General Tso's chicken or orange chicken, there's so many like nooks and crannies in the chicken itself when you're eating it, and the excess liquid on the marinade in the flour here is going to give us that those nooks and crannies and those extra little crunchy pieces all over the chicken. Yeah, thanks, Broham. It does smack indeed. There is egg whites in this, but because we're doing this in the General Tso style, this is a more typical way of doing it. A lot of cornstarch mixed with the flour and the egg whites in here, but there's not like a triple dip system the way you would with a more American fried chicken. I'm getting really excited about this, by the way. I've been kind of thinking about this one all week, waiting. Like that gif of the guy that's like, that's me. Yes, Georgina, I'm excited to have this for dinner too. So when I do the stream, usually I'm also making dinner, but we have it like in a different way for dinner. So today I'm just gonna serve this on some fried rice for dinner. But I suppose we could have it in sandwich form if you really wanted to. I'm gonna try to move the camera a little bit when I do actually fry these, just so that it's not my back the whole time and you have no idea what's going on. Yeah, these have a nice coating on them. And surprisingly, the oil is actually pretty much ready to go. So let's see how I can do this. Can't quite reach all the way. Oh, Rich has joined the chat. Always love when that happens. Yeah, playing Switch or working, which one? Sounds like most of my year, honestly. That's probably one of the better ASMRs that we've had on the stream so far. These look really good. Yeah, Rich, what? There's so many windows in here, look. So after the frying, we also have hundreds of candles. So we just open the windows, light the candles. About an hour, it's pretty good. These are looking really good, nice and crispy. About another minute. You know, you could make this without mayo. Eagle eyes, Rich. I already used it. I'm not very good at getting these shots here. Look at that. Great. All right, I'm gonna pop the other two in, and then we're just gonna really build them up after that. So the mayo is in the slaw, which the slaw has some soy sauce, mayo, rice vinegar. There is a bit of heat in the sauce itself, but not in the slaw. I love a good kimchi slaw. But because this is inspired by General Tso's chicken, that's why I did broccoli. And it's broccoli and pickles. So the pickles are from like a regular fried chicken sandwich, and the broccoli is from like the General Tso style. All right, I'm gonna bring this camera back. And we're gonna, not that way. Keep it a little lower while I build the sandwich. Never had so many wires in my life until I started streaming. Just putting the bread into the broiler so it's a little crispy. Duke's mayo. I don't know, we usually use Hellman's, but I know the big Duke's versus Hellman's debates. The Vulgar Chef talks about that a lot, but another tip to make it not smell up your whole house is put a cover on it right away. Frame drops. Maybe it's because I'm on all 3 platforms at the same time. Maybe. It's okay now. Okay. Maybe it's because Gina is upstairs using a lot of bandwidth. A Blackstone. What is that, Abby? So someone said spicy mayo, and I thought, why not? Let's do it. And I think we are going to use the sesame seed. Blackstone griddle. I will look into it. So I'm just doing a super light coat of this because we have so much other sauce, but you want something on the bottom too. Yeah, we're doing both sides. A lot of people put hot honey on their fried chicken sandwiches. So that was another inspiration for this, because this is so honey based, but it's like a honey based General Tso chicken. So it's a combination of a lot of things. And now I'm gonna put down this broccoli and pickle slaw. We're a little too close for this camera. And that's it. That's the sandwich. As always, going to take a couple pictures before I eat it. So that I can post it next week. Everyone can get the recipe. So many side chats going on. It's like I'm not even here. Yes, call your cardiologist before you make this. Just a check-in. Why not? You know, make sure. Consult your doctors. This is excellent. Oop, dropping things in the kitchen. Has the General Tso flavor. Has the vibe of a fried chicken sandwich. The slaw is awesome. It gives you that little broccoli flavor, little pickle flavor. And the chicken is so juicy. And that's what happens when you use chicken thighs. Because the fat in the thigh melts as you fry it, but it doesn't escape out of the breading. That's just science. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. I'll post this recipe probably in 2 weeks. And as always, follow me on Instagram. Go live every Thursday, but obviously not next week, on YouTube, Twitch, and now Facebook as well. And this recipe will probably be posted in 2 weeks. So thanks for following along.